Oh my god. I just made a 13-minute video and the camera wasn't even facing me. Good morning. Oh. Definitely just woke up. Because I got home late. It's 11:08 in the morning. This is day 8. I'm definitely a millennial. This is day 8. Yesterday was a good workout, but yesterday was the first time feeling towards the end of my cardio, like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, as far as the cardio, not like the exercising. Like, oh my god, why is this 5 minutes taking forever? And we're gonna up every exercise, like, weights that I do. I've been doing the very low minimum, which is like 8 pounds here, 10 pounds, 15 pounds here. So I'm gonna go to the next level, which is usually like 10 pounds more. Like, but I'm not gonna go further than that because I don't want to get too like bulky, you know, like a weight lift, like a bodybuilder. People are, and then I know it's like, yeah, oh, that's the misconception. Well, it's not really a misconception either. If you look at bodybuilders, especially women, like, you can see the every muscle that they do here. Women who don't typically look that way is because, one, they don't lift too heavy, and not that often with their arms. At least that's what my theory is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I admit that. But at least from what I've known or what I've researched throughout my years of experience and stuff, which I hardly none. I don't even know why I'm talking like I'm an expert. I'm talking like I'm an expert, but I'm not. But I just, like, for me, what I've known is that I don't have to lift heavy to get results. It's all about technique, completing that routine, like, effectively. This body weight, you just need body weight. You really, really do. People who say otherwise, oh no, you don't need body weight. I mean, you need to do weights and stuff like that. Are obviously not doing enough or haven't found the right program. I guess one person, as far as like exercise people, who really inspired me as far as like thinking this way was maybe like Tracy Anderson. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of her, but she's very popular. Tracy Anderson was, even when I was younger, when she first started, I was so hyped for her because she did things without having to really use body weight. It was like a Pilates met ballerina dance met yoga in a way, which I thought was really cool. And she did things differently. Like, you didn't have to use weights, and she does, but they're only like 3 pounds. And she got these petite little arms that are, yes, they're very defined as well. Like, they're not bulky. Like, this woman is tight from her head to her toe. Like, her body is just tight and fit. And, like, if you look at her, like, it's just, she does an amazing job. I got that mentality from Tracy Anderson, that you don't need to lift so much. You don't need to be lifting 65 pounds per arm. 130 pounds to make your arm so defined. I mean, yeah, you can. Like, I don't know. I'm rambling now. And then I weighed myself, and I think my starting weight was 189.3. I'm at 188.6. It's not a full pound, but as long as the scale is going down, at least in the beginning, I'm totally fine. Because, like I said, I'm not eating 100% healthy, but I'm not eating 100% crazy like I was. Because I was eating Cane's all the time. I was eating Popeyes all the time. I was eating just crazy. And then, of course, as a woman, I deal with a lot of medical issues. Maybe I should do this in another video, but I have this irregular period that was given to me by my mother, obviously, that she suffered. And this is for women. You know, if you're not a woman and you don't want to hear this, this is TMI. This is for women only. This is for women who are probably going through the same thing, that maybe you can relate or not relate. But Anyways, but my period lasts forever. I think this year of 2024, I've been on my period every day. And we're in March, about to go into April. Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's not. And then, like I said, TMI, but I'm just trying to be very transparent here. I do get clot. I was diagnosed a long time ago when I was younger. Little like blood disease, nothing too, well, like I said, not too crazy, I don't know. But it's obviously affecting me. Von Willebrand disease is basically where your blood can't clot enough to where it heals the wound. So like if I cut myself, the blood just keeps flowing. I haven't experienced too bad where I cut myself and I'm just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. Maybe like once or twice in my lifetime. Also, that does take me back to when I was younger, where all throughout my elementary school before puberty, because that's when it's really stopped, to be honest, now that I think about it. But before puberty, I used to get horrendous nosebleeds out of nowhere. It used to scare the crap out of my mom, out of the schools, out of my friends, because they would not stop. If you know my mom, she repeats the same stories all the time. And one of the stories that she tells is that when I was a baby, goes to go check on me and she sees puddles of blood in my crib. They all thought I was dead, but I wasn't. I just had bled out so much from my nose. And without fail, a few days to a week later, my mom comes into my room and retells the whole story from when I was a little girl.
I noticed that right away when you were born, you would get a lot of nosebleeds, and severe, not just regular nosebleeds. And I remember that several times I had to take you to the emergency, and the doctor said that she'll eventually outgrow it. If not, we would have to go, in her little nose and burn up those because it was a tiny veins. And I remember one morning I went to go to your room and you were sleeping. Se me hacía muy raro that you hadn't woken up, because usually you're awake, but you were on a little 8 or 9 months. And you would always be standing. And when I went there, oh my God, the sight that I saw, pool of blood, and you were covered in blood. It looked like someone had come in and, violently stabbed you to death or something. It was horrendous. And so I was like, I screamed, and I woke you up, and you were so weak when I picked you up, and I took your clothes off and I rinsed you, and I don't even remember where Rick was. I don't remember what was going on. All I know to remember is that I took you to the hospital. You were so weak. You were just like this. And I remember the doctor saying, by what you're describing, I said, Doc, I probably would have filled 4 or 5 coffee cups of the pool. It's like you stayed in that little area and, you dented the mattress. And it was just your entire body. And she said, yeah, it's a miracle your baby's alive. And they gave you some medicine, some intravenous, and then all of a sudden, about 3 hours later, you come alive, and then you're yourself, Then, Bob, they kept calling me. The nurses would panic at your elementary school because I told them that you would suffer. You remember those?
No, yeah, I remember
They would panic because, and then the thing is that your nosebleeds were so severe that you couldn't help it, and you would swallow the chunks, and I could hear you swallow the chunks, but I couldn't let your nose go. I had to pinch it, and I would tell you, open your mouth, Mama, throw that blood, and you would panic too. And I remember so many times I would get a phone call, and I'd have to go and get you. And I think finally one of them kind of already knew what to do after like 4 or 5 scares.
Anything with extreme heat, extreme cold, or just randomly, I can't even tell you why, but my nose would bleed, and it would try to stop because I could feel the clots, and the clots would come out of my nose. And it was at first it was a nasty sensation, but then I started to become a weirdo and kind of like it. But there was a couple of times where they couldn't get it to stop, and I would have to go to the emergency room. So definitely, if that doesn't tell you anything, I'm anemic as well. So like I said, I deal with a lot of stuff too. It's not just, I'm gonna lose weight, I can't lose weight. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to women losing weight that goes into play. I have insurance now, and I'm gonna go get retested, maybe see what I can do to take to, rebalance my hormones and finally tackle this and maybe have a normal menstrual cycle, because I don't think I've ever had one. The times that I've had like breaks from my period were scary too, because sometimes where I would go months having my period and then there would be months I don't have my period. There's probably like 1 year I didn't have my period at all, and there was probably like a couple years where all year I had a period. It's horrible. But it's 11:30 in the morning, and yeah, let's go work out and get the A out the way. Peace out.